Hello, dear friends. Today we will go on a trip in time and thoughts to talk about how one of the most influential philosophical schools of antiquity can help each of us in the modern world. It will be about Stoicism, a teaching that has not lost its strength and relevance, despite the fact that more than 2,000 years have passed since its appearance. Why Stoicism? Because it gives an amazing tool for life in the conditions of chaos and uncertainty. He does not promise easy solutions, does not offer magical ways to avoid difficulties, but it helps to gain internal stability, clarity, and meaning, even when everything around seems unpredictable. The history of Stoicism began in Athens in the 3rd century BC. Its founder, Zenon from Kitchen, preached his ideas right in the square, under the column's cost, hence the name Stoicism. The doctrine quickly gained followers because it offered what many were looking for: the ability to remain calm in a world full of tests. The main idea of philosophy is simple, but at the same time deep. Share what depends on you and what does not depend. We cannot manage everything, the weather, decisions of other people, accidents, but we can control our thoughts, our reactions and actions. And it is in this that the source of freedom is hiding. The Stoics argued that the true good is not in wealth and not in honors. The real good is virtue, the ability to remain honest, fair, moderate, and courageous. Even if the whole world collapses around, a person can maintain inner dignity. These ideas did not remain only on the pages of books. They inspired as many as 3 generations of great thinkers. Seneca, the philosopher and mentor of Emperor Nero, wrote that we create many suffering for ourselves when we are afraid of what has not yet happened. He called to focus on the present and not spend life on anxieties about the future. Epictetus, a former slave and then a great teacher, said, "Not things disturb people, but their views on things." His thought reveals the essence of Stoicism. The very fact of the event does not yet determine whether it will be a trouble or a test for us. It all depends on how we perceive it. A special place is occupied by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who left us his thoughts. In these personal records, there is nothing about politics or military strategy. There, the search for inner calm among the authorities, wars, and constant worries. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself and descendants that everything in the world is temporary, which means it is important to maintain justice and clarity of the soul. If we look at today's world, we will see the same challenges, only in a different form. The flow of news, pressure of social networks, economic instability, global changes, all this creates that life has lost support. But Stoicism teaches us, chaos is not what should destroy us, but what makes it possible to strengthen internal resistance. Stoicism practice includes daily exercises. One of them is morning thought, to present possible difficulties in the day and prepare for them in advance. This is not pessimism, but a sober look that makes a person ready for any surprises. In the evening, the Stoics advise to summarize, to analyze their actions, mark the strengths, and work on weaknesses. Such a simple ritual helps to live consciously and not on the machine. Thus, the first part of our journey shows that Stoicism is not a dry theory, but a practical guide to life. This is a philosophy that teaches to find meaning in chaos, see stability within itself, and maintain dignity in any circumstances. Now let's delve into how exactly Stoicism can be used in our everyday life, and why it remains so relevant even after centuries. The Stoics considered the world as a whole, controlled by a rational order. A person, in their opinion, is part of this large organism. Therefore, the main task of everyone is to live in harmony with nature and mind. When we strive to act fairly and honestly, we fit into the harmony of the universe. It is important to understand, Stoicism does not call for abandoning emotions completely. He teaches not to become their slave. Feelings are natural, but they should not control our solutions. The calmness of the mind is what Stoics strove for. This condition is not indifferent, but wise control. Many modern psychological practices are based on this principle. For example, cognitive behavioral therapy teaches to change attitude to events, and not the events themselves. This is a direct legacy of the ideas of the Epictetus. To better understand the power of Stoicism, we will present a simple situation. Suppose a person is losing his job. For some, this is the end, a source of fear and despair. But for Stoic, this is a test, the opportunity to test yourself and find new ways. He does not spend strength on what he cannot change, but acts where it depends on him. That is why Stoicism is so popular among entrepreneurs, athletes, military, and people who are faced with a high level of uncertainty. It helps to maintain clarity when everything around is crumbling. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind and not over external events. Realize this, and you will gain power." These words sound especially relevant today. We cannot control the world, but we can control the fact that inside us. Stoicism also teaches to value every day. Seneca evening notes are filled with reminders that time is the most valuable thing we have. We often live as if we have infinity ahead, but the Stoics advise to remember the brevity of life so that every moment would become significant. For a modern person, this is especially important. In a world where everything is constantly changing, the only thing that really belongs to us is our choice, how to live today. Stoicism reminds, if we use time correctly, then even in chaos we can find joy and meaning. This philosophy can be used very simply. You can start with 3 steps. In the morning, prepare the mind for possible difficulties, reminding yourself that everything is outwardly temporary. During the day, control your reactions, trying to separate the facts from interpretations. In the evening, analyze actions and study on your own experience. These habits gradually form inner power, and then the chaos ceases to be an enemy. It becomes only a background on which our ability to remain ourselves manifests itself. Dear friends, Stoicism is not an ancient relic, but a living teaching that can help each of us. It does not promise a light life, but promises clarity, dignity, and freedom of spirit. Thank you for being with me in this conversation. If this topic is close to you, if you want to understand deeper how philosophy helps to cope with difficulties and find meaning, be sure to stay with us. There is still a lot of interesting things ahead. Thank you for your attention and see you in new stories.